I'm here. Okay, now coming back on 10C, we have causes of the Great Depression, which was the stock market crash in 1929, which had Black Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. No Black Wednesday, I don't know why. But, the Federal Reserve failed to help out the banks, so all the banks closed and there was mass panic. Throughout the 1930s, there were the whole Great Depression where nobody had that much money. The impacts were unemployment and homelessness, collapse of the financial system, demand for goods declined, political unrest, and farms foreclosed.
Carry on, Kyle. Kyle's gonna need you out there.
John.
Where were you?
My turn.
10D.
My turn.
I'm gonna give us the 10D.
turn.
But before I do, Liam, take it away.
Anyways, time for me to give the D. First of all, 10D, we're talking about the New Deal of our Franklin D. Roosevelt, who I think was a Democrat, which means he was a terrible American.
Terrible!
The New Deal basically altered the role of American government in the economy, which was, well, to put it lightly,
Bad.
shite. It basically started these programs which would get our economy out of the situation that it was in, including the AAA, Agriculture Adjustment Administration, and the FDIC, the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, which insures, is it up to $100,000?
Yes.
It insures your money up to $100,000 in the bank. And also Social Security Act, which offered safeguards for workers. And we have some lovely pictures here. I'll show you. Here we have, it says, evacuation sale. Don't know what that says, but basically they had to sell everything. And then these are free coffee and donuts. And looks like they're out of coffee and donuts. And then here we have a banker holding the cards, or maybe it's FDR. It says bank legislation, whatever, it's kind of boring. And then that says, what did you say your name is? It's a social security number, so it's basically saying that he thought that we were just a number. We're
Not
more
a person.
We're more than that.
That's right.
Ooh.
How do you pause it?
Alright, now we're going to talk about our last segment, 11A. Sorry for that interruption. And this is talking about the wars in Europe and Asia, which included, you know, all of the countries in Europe and Russia, primarily in Asia.
I am Russia.
Thank you. And the war started with when Hitler invaded Poland, and that was a pretty douche move. And and then for the first 2 years of the war, the United States was neutral, but then due to due to Hitler invading Russia, they turned sides, and so Russia was against Hitler. So pretty much everyone was now against Hitler. So then the U.S. got bombed at Pearl Harbor, which was pretty bad. And it's so bad.
You suck, AJ.
Talking!
Stop hitting me with volleyballs!
You're talking a lot. You're not passing it off. You're bringing this upon yourself. Are the most boring speech.
Mr. Magruder, just lower AJ's grade. Just AJ's.
The war
On
in
to John.
Asia involved Asians. Duh. And they bombed Pearl Harbor, so
Wait,
we
is Alice in
bombed
your class?
them. No, she's not.
Alright,
During the 1930s, Japan thought they were badasses. Oh, dang, can't say.
John!
You didn't hear that.
PG-13.
Japan thought they were bad butts, so they decided they were going to side with Germany and just fight everybody. But everybody sided against them, and in the end, the U.S. sided with the Allies, and censored.
Liam, what-
Together, we were
Lean
able
the
to
camera.
win World War II. We need to pause that.
Why?
You can't ride my little wagon.
Take us away. Alright. Is it going?
No, not yet.
Alright. Tell us when.
This is really stupid.
Go
You're
ahead.
gonna F.
That's for fantastic.
Is it going? Yeah. Alright, basically, now we're on. Alright. Alright, in all seriousness.
No, Mr. Bogey
I
said
love
to
you.
keep all the
I
things
love you,
like
Mr.
they were.
McGruber. Alright.
We talking about children?
11B. During the period from the Civil War. I'm an 8B.
Your butt's so bony. Ow. No.
11B.
No.
Not again.
No. I will fist you.
Back to where we were.
We need 11.
Guys, we're gonna fail.
AJ, you look like you're
Alright, sorry about that. Alright, now we got the wartime strategies.
Hey, Travis can come back in.
We're in World War II right now. Like that? Alright, we're in World War II right now. And some essential understanding we have right now is wartime strategies reflect the political and military goals for alliances, resources on hand, and the geographical extent of the conflict. An essential question that we must all ask ourselves. What was the overall strategy of America and its allies in World War II? Also, how did America's strategy during World War II reflect available resources and geographical shape of the conflict? And why were some battles of World War II considered turning points of the war? So here's the Allied strategy. First we got Britain and the Soviet Union combined with America followed a defeat Hitler first strategy. Basically, it's going after Hitler first. In the Pacific, though, they had an island hopping campaign, which consisted of going through and basically killing off the Chinks.
We can't say that.
You can't say that. Okay, I'm sorry.
The good news is Alice is in our class. The bad news is...
But she is in your class?
No, I said isn't.
Oh, okay. Basically, they went around on the different islands and just, kind of struck them, attacked their Air Force bases, just cut them off. Yeah, cut off their supplies through submarine warfare. It was pretty savage.
Oh my cabbage.
Axis strategy. Germans. They hoped to defeat the Soviet Union quickly and gain control of Soviet oil fields and force Britain out of the... Chill! I'm trying to get this done.
You're gonna have to do some editing.
Yeah, we have to do this next one.
Anyways,
Bloopers.
they tried to get the Soviet oil fields and force Britain out of the war through a bombing campaign and submarine warfare before America's industrial military strength could turn the tide. And then, this is a really emotional part of the song. The Japs bombed Pearl Harbor.
I can't even. Let me have it. Where is it? Point at it. Where is it? Right there. Following Pearl Harbor, Japan just took over the Philippines and Indonesia. And they plan to invade both Australia and Hawaii. Who invades Australia? That's such a douche move. Anyways, the leaders of Australia and Hawaii hoped that America would accept Japanese predominance in Southeast Asia and the Pacific, rather than conduct a bloody and costly war to reverse Japanese gains. Major battles and turning points of the war. In North Africa, the Battle of El Alamein is where German forces were trying to get Egypt, but they were beat by the British. In Europe, Stalingrad is when hundreds of thousands of German soldiers were killed or captured in months-long siege of the Russian capital of Stalingrad. This defeat prevented Germany from seizing the Soviet oil fields and turned the tide against Germany. Also, in Europe was Normandy landings, which is known here as D-Day, where we totally just took out the beaches and invaded France, and obviously won the war, basically. basically. Major battles and turning points in the Pacific were Midway, where American naval forces defeated a much larger Japanese force as it prepared to seize Midway Island. Would you like to read the next? You two?
Yes, you start off.
Iwo Jima.
Iwo Jima was the American invasion of Iwo Jima and Okinawa, which brought American forces closer to Japan, so we could bring a fight to them, basically.
This is true.
And Japanese fought bravely, but they would commit suicide rather than surrender, so the death toll was really high. And then, to end it all up, America used their atomic bombs to end it, and Hiroshima and Nagasaki, we bombed both of them and killed thousands, tens of thousands. We didn't kill them.
Yeah, we did.
Tens of thousands of people were killed in both cities.
Of millions.
And that pretty much ended the war for Japan because no one had really seen that before. We took them out, basically. Go for it, Kyle.
Starting on 11C, we have minority participation. African Americans generally served in the secondary military units, which helped us out in the war throughout the years, World War II, which made us beat Hitler and Japan. The all minority military units were the Tuskegee Airmen, which they have a show about, the movie about that. Draw African Americans, and the Nisei Regiment, which was an Asian American unit. Additional contributions of minorities were communication codes, and Mexican Americans also fought in segregated units, but we still didn't treat them completely like Americans. So that was Peyton, and she says hi. Now we're back to Liam with 11D. So it's not 10Ds, it's 11Ds.
I'm about to give you guys 11 Ds right now. Basically, well, this isn't really good how I planned. Basically, some essential understanding that we have right now is that the conduct of war often reflects social and moral codes of a nation. How they act in a war reflects how they act behind closed doors. You can quote me on that. The treatment of prisoners of war often reflects the savage nature of conflict and cultural norms of the nation. So if they treat their prisoners bad, they probably treat their women bad.
True.
You feel me, Mr. Magooty?
Y'all feel?
I definitely feel. And this is kind of gay now. Also, some questions that we must ask ourselves as Americans is, what was the purpose of the Geneva Convention? What was the Geneva Convention? And how did treatment of prisoners differ? Take it away, John.
Take it away, John.
Where are we? 11E? Are we on 11E?
11E, the last one.
Saving the best for last. Camera on
John.
me. Camera on me. Thank you. Specific groups, often the object of hatred and prejudice, face increased risk of discrimination during wartime. Two questions we need to know about are: what was the Holocaust, and who were the victims? Shout out to the Jewish people. The second one is, what was the short-term and long-term significance of the Holocaust? This gets me all up in my feelings. Terms to know.
His dad died in the Holocaust.
Yeah.
Killing Jews!
Terms to know are genocide, the systematic and purposeful destruction of a racial, political, religious, or cultural group, and final solution, Germany's decision to exterminate all the Jews. The effective groups were Jews, Poles, Slavs, Gypsies, homosexuals, mentally ill, and political dissenters.
And blacks and
The
homosexuals.
significance, I already said homosexuals. The significance was that in the Nuremberg trials, Nazi leaders and others were convicted of war crimes. They emphasized individual responsibility for actions during the war. The trials led to increased demand for a Jewish homeland. That is the end.
You know what this meeting needs?
A
More
smile.
smiles.
Who wanna come and die?
Turn the frown the
Traveling
other way
around
around.
Let's do the Kate Upton
You can turn it off now.